Welcome to the Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest. I'm Jon Jansen. We're out here this morning on Burt Lake. We've got a beautiful morning. We've had a cool August, and last couple of days we had a cold front move in. We're in northern Michigan. Burt Lake's about 17,000 acres. We're fishing for walleye this morning. Everything so far the last couple of weeks have been deep, so we're going to be using lead core, we're going to be using tadpoles, and we're going to see if we can dredge up a couple of walleye. So stay tuned and we'll see what we can catch. So I'm here with my #1 fishing buddy. This is Jack, my 6-year-old. I've got 4 kids. I love to take them fishing. And a couple of things to remember when you take kids fishing. One, you can fish a lot longer if they stay comfortable. So keep them warm, keep them safe. On our way out, he wore his life jacket. We've got some snacks. We've got a little portable potty that we can use if he's got to use the restroom. And I'm not ashamed to say I might have to use it at one point or another, but it lets us stay out here just a little bit longer. And Jack is great. He's been doing this since he's about 2 years old, and he allows me to be setting lines on one side of the boat. He can set lines on the other side. Gives us another 3 lines in the boat and another limit of fish. So we'll see how Jack does today. Yep, come here. Just set that one down. This one definitely is. There you go. You reel nice and slow. We got our first fish today. We're just getting in the planer board. We've got about 8 lines out, and the really nice thing about this Crestliner boat is we can run 8, 9 lines because we've got 3 in the boat. It allows us plenty of room to move around. I can get to the back of the boat here to help out Jack land this monster walleye. All right, bud, reel. There we go. First walleye of the day. We're using a shad wrap, #5, kind of an orange color. We had a good crawfish hatch here a couple of weeks ago, so they're gnawing down on those. And this is our first one today. We're happy to see that they're still biting, even though we had that cold front move in. So we'll put them in a live well, and we'll see if we can get a couple of more. Does it feel like one's there? You think it's bigger than the last one? How about that net job? So as you saw, I had a little difficulty netting that fish. Bad net job, right, bud? Almost lost that one. We've lost fish by bad net jobs. But what we're using, because Burt Lake is so clear, behind my tadpole, which is another way I'm using to get my baits down into where the fish are. As we're looking, I think we got another strike, but what happens is I have to use a 12 to 14 foot leader, and with that tadpole you can only reel it up so far, then you got to kind of hand line it in the rest of the way. I wasn't able to get it. I hooked that lure on the outside of the net, but we still got it in the boat. We're going to go ahead and put that one back in the live well as well, because that's a good eater size. So today we're using kind of a push-pull method in terms of how we're moving our boat and boat control. We've got our motor guide, XI5, in the front of the boat, which is pulling us along, and I've got that set on a course. And I can adjust that course by the push of a couple of buttons on the remote, you know, left, right, however much I want to turn. Just one click of the button puts me going in the right direction. So that allows me not to have to be behind the steering wheel, not really paying attention to what's going on. I can set lines, I can land fish, I can do a lot of that. But since we're going about 2.3, 2.4 miles an hour, I don't want to wear the battery out by having it on high the whole time. So what I'm also doing is I'm using my Pro kicker, my Mercury Pro kicker, to push us along. And what this allows us to do, we don't have much wind right now, maybe pick up a little bit later, but it's basically driving in 4-wheel drive. We're pulling from the front of the boat, steering from the front of the boat, so it gives us increased boat control, and we're pushing it along with our kicker. So we're going to see how that helps us today. We're going to talk a little bit more about it later, but again, we're trying to go about 2.3 miles an hour, a little bit more than I want to do with just a kicker, definitely more than I want to do with just a bow mount, but together it becomes a great combination.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, leaders in trolling technology. Trax Tech, the ultimate fishing system.
Now I think that one is on lead, bud, so you're gonna be okay. Don't worry about the leader. And a great thing about these offshore planer boards is they're easy to get off. A couple of pinches, the board is off, and then you're just fighting the fish. It allows you to get more lines out to the side, get them away from the boat, get them away from the noise of the engine, and just flat out fish more lines. Does it feel big? And one of the things I really stress to the kids is, especially when you're fishing lead core, you don't have to jerk that fish up. It's just a nice, easy reel. You don't want to rip the bait out of their mouth. With enough treble hooks down there, you know you got a pretty good hook set. There we go. All right, so this one we caught on a reef runner. This is a shallow diving reef runner, but it's that same craw color that we've been using all day long. This one is a little bit orange, a little bit yellow, but it allows us to match the color with a little bit different action. All right, so what we're using today is more about the color. We're trying to match that orange color of some young in the year crayfish. This color has been one of the best ones that we've had really over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So here we've got our Lowrance HDS 9, and we're looking at the graph on it right now, and you can see the fish that we're trying to target. We've got two things. One, this fish right here, this arc right here, it's about 22 feet, and we're trying to target that one with the tadpoles. And we're using those a little bit shallower, running there, and then you can see these humps on the bottom. Those are all walleye that are holding tight to the bottom. This is a very good unit, very sensitive. You can adjust the sensitivity how you need it to show the fish that you're targeting, but we're using the lead core to target these ones that are in 35 to 36 feet of water. Allows us to get down there, gives the bait great action, and the tadpoles, we're marking these ones up top here. That's what we're using to target those fish in that 15 to 20 foot range. All right, slow, slow. All right, walk back just a little bit. All right. Well, it is a big one. It is a monster, isn't it? Great thing about taking kids fishing is you get a chance to tell them a little bit and show them a little bit about being responsible fishermen, stewards of what we have here in Michigan. So we're right at about 21 inches. And I think this is going to be one that's going to make us a lot more walleyes in the future, so we should probably put her back, don't you think? My policy is anything between 15 and about 19, 20 inches, we'll take it home, eat for dinner. Anything over that, we're going to throw back because they're going to be the ones that are going to allow us to increase our fishery, keep our fisheries going so that we got a lot of walleye left to catch in years to come. And there she goes. Bottom one, yep, here, let me help you. There you go. You ready? Reel it up. There we go, another one in the boat. There we go, we'll show everybody at home. Another quality walleye, about 16 inches. You can catch fish any time of the year on Burt Lake. I only live a few minutes from here and fish it quite a bit. All year long, you can catch walleye, smallmouth, pike, a whole lot of different species. But today we were after walleye. And the walleye, we're in the last week of August. The water is still warm, we're about 72 degrees. We needed to get down to where the walleye were at, and that is deep in the main lake basin. So we were using lead core line, we were using tadpoles to get down to that 35, 40 foot depth, trying to troll about 2 or 3 feet off the bottom. We also had a couple of tadpole sets, so we were trying to get some of those suspended fish. We were marking some, and we did pick up 1 or 2 of those, but the main bite was down deep, and we were using shad wraps, shad dancers, and also reef runners. But everything that we caught today was on that kind of craw color. So here as we end the day, we can't get our rods out because we keep getting hit. So we may even just try and drop a line here just for fun and see if we catch some more fish, but that's an awful nice fish to end the day with. Thanks for coming fishing with me, bud. When you get a chance to come up here to Burt Lake, do me a favor and stop by a local bait shop. There's plenty of them around here. I do it all the time, even though I live close. Say, hey, what's going on in the lake right now, what are they biting on, what's going on, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction and get you out here catching fish. But we had a good time today. We're going to go home and clean some of these fish, and we'll see you next time out here on the Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest.
Closed captioning brought to you by Wave Pro. Best ride on the water. Online at waveproshock.com.